What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Limitless Business Owners Podcast. My name is Andrew Giorgi, and I'm here with my co-host of the podcast, Dan Fisher. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, first of all, we want to welcome you. Okay, we're super excited to be on this journey, this business owner journey with you, and help you along the way. Okay, our whole goal with this podcast and really our passion in life is to bring the everyday business owner content and stories they can relate to, and also fresh new perspectives, fresh new mindsets, new thoughts, new ideas, strategies, tactics to help you grow your business. Okay, if you take one thing out of each episode and start implementing it into your life and business today, we promise you're going to start seeing massive growth. Let's hop into the show. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another week of Limitless Business Owners. It has been busy the past few days, but we're here. We're making it. We're making a lot of changes to our inner circle group. Dan and I, and we're actually bringing someone else on, CJ, our friend CJ. He'll be joining us for a couple podcasts. So we're super, super excited about that, the changes inside that, the growth inside of that group. But Dan, how are you doing, man? How are things going?
Doing great. Had a busy week this week, busy week last week. Nice little cash influx into the business, which was nice. When you have that slow moment in June, it's great to have an amazing July, and we're going to be finishing out pretty well. And then, just like you said, with the Limitless group, like getting that up and running and a little bit of pivots, and that's okay. Yeah. But we're getting it on the right track, and it's super exciting with all the new guys coming on board.
Oh yeah, man. And we're, for those of you that don't know, Dan and I are kind of making I shouldn't say a pivot, it's something new, offering this automation CRM. And I've already done lead gen in the past, right? Mm-hmm. But this is kind of a different pivot, I would say, with offering the automation stuff. And we're getting some good prospects with that. So that is looking up as well. Super, super excited about that, because I think that I know how much like lead gen impacts businesses, and can help them. But I'm like, man, the automation and the CRM stuff can help them tenfold and help them even more.
Right.
So I'm really, really excited about that. And it's funny that our topic today, Dan, you were talking about your cash influx, and that came from people, what we would consider kind of dead leads, but they're not really dead leads. It's just list reactivation. But that's come from this nice little influx in your business, has come from you growing your list over the past 6, 9, 10 months. And now they are ready to move forward now. They weren't ready back then, but they're ready to move forward now.
Right.
And, this episode is actually part of a 3-part mini series we're going to be rolling out over the next couple of weeks, called the Untold Principles of Marketing Success. Okay. And these are principles, I touch on it in my short little ebook, but these marketing principles have, I know, guided my business, guided Dan's business. And really these are the foundations that sit below a lot of, or in most successful businesses, right? These principles are what everybody does. Okay. They're followed by the best of the best. And these are things that you should be committed to regardless of your situation. Like, Dan's seeing the success of it right now, which principle number 1 is you need to always be growing your list. Okay. Yep. Principle number 1, always be growing your list. And if this is your first time hearing, I hope it's not your first time hearing about growing your list. But your list is your email list, right? Your contacts that you've come in contact with, and they're like, yeah, I want to hear more from this person, or, hey, I might be interested enough to give them your email and phone number, so on and so forth. So like the people that Dan's got this influx from are people that, Dan's business has always ran off of paid ads, right? And some of those paid ads, some of those leads that come in convert right away. Okay. But really the past 2 or 3 weeks, you haven't had to run any ads, which means you don't have to spend, right?
Yeah. And we were spending right around like $1,000 to $1,200 a day.
Yeah. And now he's getting people that, didn't convert 6 months ago, but became a lead 6 months ago. They created campaigns to reactivate those people, and he's getting this huge influx So while, and Dan, this is something that just, comes to my mind, when we're running these ads, we think of these leads that we're getting in, right? Because I do some ad work for Dan's business. These leads that were coming in that are converting right away, but we also have to think about the percentage of people that are going to convert 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road, right? The payoff isn't just right there. The payoff, it continues.
I think a lot of people forget that when you're in the lead generation or you have a list there, I think they forget on the other side of that name is an actual person, right? Like that piece of data that came in is not just something that you, try to call once or twice 1 week, maybe close once. This is something that you can work for a lifetime. This is a person. A personal relationship is tied there. So what we do is once we bring in the lead, we try to keep it in our ecosystem, whether that's with education or just certain engagement and bringing authorities in the space where they can speak to those people. Yeah, that reactivates those leads, and then you get them. You might not get them from a year or 2 years, but you have them in your system.
Well, and it's part of the lead game, right? Like, you're going to have people that just don't convert, right? You're going to have people that convert right up front.
Absolutely.
And this is kind of the group of people that everyone's fighting over, is this group, people that are converting today or tomorrow.
Right.
But where there's so much, and we're going to talk about this later, where there's so much potential is the group of people that aren't going to convert right now, but will convert 3, 4, 5 months down the road, where, these people are getting used to your brand. You're sending email blasts out. You're still kind of having touch points with them until they are ready to convert. So, always got to be growing your list. Principle number 1, always, always, always never stop. I was talking to Dan, and Dan, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I was like,
sure,
man, even though we're reactivating, and Dan's finessing some scaling of his business too. So this is kind of where you have to understand scaling your business. And I agree with what the decision was here of like, hey, we're not gonna run ads for a couple weeks. We're gonna recoup cash, right? Because pretty much they're always trading dollar for a higher amount of dollar, right?
Right.
But always need to be on the hunt for people. Always need to be filmed, because I'm like, hey, what does this mean for 3, 4, 5 months down the road? Well, now it's like they got a cash influx, so it's like, okay, well, maybe we can do something with that and invest more. So there's always a trade-off. I always think a couple months down the road. Of course, I think right now, what are we converting now? And then what can we convert from this group that maybe we're generating now later? So growing your list is just generating leads. Sorry, that was my kiddo in the background crying. Growing your list is always generating leads and prospecting. Okay. I know some salespeople might hear of prospecting. Marketing and advertising is responsible for generating leads, right? And typically you take those leads and you prospect off of those leads. Okay. And this is very different than selling. Okay. I think people confuse the two. I think people think, oh, well, I'm busy selling and fulfilling right now, so I don't need to be generating leads.
Yep.
And this is the cycle I see a lot of people go through. And I'm going to break it off in a couple different groups of people. So let's talk about the solopreneur, okay? The person that's doing it all in their business. The vicious cycle we find these people get into is they go hard in the paint in prospecting, right? Because they don't have jobs. They don't have sales lined up. They don't have clients lined up. Okay. They go hard in the paint prospecting. They get a couple, and now they're busy fulfilling. Well, guess what stops then? The prospecting, the generating leads, right? So then they get done with those clients, and guess what? There's no one there. So now they got to go hard in the paint again on prospecting. And this typically leads to like a roller coaster type income pattern, right? And then even I've seen larger businesses where maybe they've done $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, and they're bringing on a sales team. They get slammed. They think we have too many leads. By the way, you can never have too many leads. No. And they turn off whatever's generating leads. And guess what? Then their salespeople catch up, and then now there's a lull in leads. So it's like always
doing that.
Yep. Always.
And making the waves.
And there are times, right? Like Dan's business is a great example. There are times where you're like, hey, we need to turn the faucet down, because Dan's mastered it so much where he's like, I can just turn them back on and I'll have leads tomorrow,
Right.
And we're actually exploring other ways, right? And this is where businesses go to the next level, other ways to grow your list, right? So if you just have one avenue, well, you're now need to scale horizontally, which means adding ways, not vertically, because sometimes you need to go horizontal to go vertical, right? So it's like, and what that means is when you're scaling horizontally, I'm going from one method to 2 or 3 methods, and then I'm scaling those up together.
Right.
So, and that's where
and one thing
yeah,
that we got caught in a couple times is when you're scaling these things, to time it right. And what I wanted to do 2 months ago is when we had, or a month ago is when we had a slow month. That was 2 months ago, is to start trying new things.
Yep.
And you were there to correct me and be like, hey, you probably don't want to try new things. You probably want to do what's tried and true. And then when you're in a place of success and have a little bit of cushion, then you could try new things.
Yep.
So now we're in the complete opposite direction. And now we can start to try new things. Now that we're back on track with all this stuff.
Yeah. And Dan and I were talking, that's exactly what he's going to be doing,
Yep.
So it's amazing seeing that, but it also comes from this relentless pursuit of, we got to grow. Like, we got to grow our list. And this is always sits under, because, these aren't people that aren't going to convert now. Like, now we don't really today, you don't need more leads. Like, you guys have that list reactivated and you're like, we're good right now.
Right.
But what about 3 weeks from now? What
Right.
about 3 months from now? So I have it a little bit later on of, how some bad thinking sometimes comes in is like, we think we want the payoff now. And this is where business owners get wrong, is like, you have to invest in growing your list, but the payoff isn't always now. Sometimes the big payoff is 3, 4, 5 months when these leads are start saying, hey, I've interacted with you enough, I'm ready to buy. Right. And, I want us to think about growing a list. Like, there can't be a harvest without working the fields and planting seeds. And I feel so often that we want the harvest, but we don't put the work in the fields, and we don't plant the seeds.
Right.
And you can't have that. You can't have the harvest without planting. You got to plant. That's the hard part. That's kind of like planting something and expecting a vegetable tomorrow.
Right. And think of the cost difference too. So a cost of a seed, you can get $3 for 300, or you could plant those seeds and put, I don't know, let's say they're corn or watermelon or something, and you've now 300 times what you can do with that seed.
Yeah. Well, this is where I think thinking just goes so wrong for people. Is planting seed, is that an investment that has a payoff tomorrow? No. But farmers, they plant and they know that their payoff is a couple months down the road.
Yep.
But they don't bitch and complain about it. And, oh man, this is that seed is, $2. Well, I'm out $2.
Right.
Oh man, they understand that, hey, my investment is here, and I'm gonna 5x that 5 months from now. Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up for that. But that's the thinking you have to have with growing your list. And of course, there's strategies and tactics inside of that you have to learn how to nurture them and bring them along, and so on and so forth. In the subsequent weeks of this, we'll be touching on ways that you can do that. Right. But principle number 1 starts with growing your list. Okay. Yep. So a couple of thoughts here for constantly growing your list. Okay. And your list is not your Instagram following. Your list is not your likes on Facebook. Your list isn't how many people follow you on TikTok. It's none of those things. That is not your list. Okay. Your list is what I called owned media. Okay. That means you control the output there. Okay. So, The other avenues, your Instagram, your Facebook, all those things are called borrowed media. You don't own that media. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they own that media. You do not own, and when I say media, I mean the people that are on it. Like, even though you have a big Facebook following, yeah, you can monetize and grow your list based off of that, but you don't control who sees what there. Facebook or Instagram does. YouTube does. Right? So, one thing in growing your list is if you have a big following of social and you're not converting those people into email subscribers on your CRM or anything like that, you need to start there. You need to have a way to turn borrowed media into owned media.
Right.
Okay. And that's the same thing with ads too. Ads, if you're running paid ads, that's borrowed and paid. So it's like the goal is to convert those people right away. And there's always a cost. There's always a cost in time or dollars to do it, right? You don't convert them for free. Nothing good comes from free, right? So that's what Dan's business does. That's what I do for business is we take, okay, how do we convert people into our list so then we can monetize them after the fact? Okay. Cause now I can send emails, I can send texts. I know my, rates there are going to be a little bit better than, and that doesn't mean you say, hey, I'm done with organic posting on Instagram. No, that's a higher up in the funnel thing. And you try to bring people down in the funnel, right? And bring them closer proximity to you, So
yeah, all those social medias add to the top line for sure.
Yeah. And then, then how do I get them even closer to me? Well, I want them to get my emails and text messages. How do I get them you can see it. And then now we go, how do I get them closer to me? Okay, well, I get in a 1v1 conversation with them. Now they're DMing me or I'm hopping on a phone call or scheduling a call with me. You see how the proximity to you gets closer as you go through the funnel, right?
Yep.
So super, super important, turning borrowed media into owned media. Okay. The second thought for growing your list, and this is what Dan's doing, is you're fighting for the margins, okay, which is where the money's at. And the margins isn't the people that are buying right now. The margins are the people that you can get to buy, that you're building a relationship with over the 3, 4, 5 months. Like I heard a stat one time, like 50% of people aren't going to buy right now. Forget about it. Like 5 to 10% of people are going to buy right now. And then you have like this 40 to 45% of people that are going to buy in the next couple months. Where's the biggest potential at? That group right there. Right?
Yep.
Dan, you're seeing it right now. You guys have done a phenomenal job at keeping touch points with people. And Dan has a couple different methods for that. Right?
Yeah.
And now he's gave his business a huge boost by getting those marginal people that didn't close up front, didn't close a couple months ago, but he fought for the margin and got those people in right now.
Yeah. And the way we did it is, like I said before, it's we thought in the way of an ecosystem, very similar to how Apple gets you into one device. Next thing you know, you're in the iMessage and the iOS ecosystem. Then you're in an iPad and a Mac, right? So that's how I was thinking. I was like, how can we help these people in the similar fashion in the same industry? We brought them in through the lead generation company. They were able to be helped by advisors or the people that weren't necessarily helped. They're still in our ecosystem. And what we do is we drip some education on them. And we also were able to create an advisor agency where we can actually see that lead go from start to finish, even if they didn't get sold. So now we can take that and give these people help. And that last part of the ecosystem where they actually go and they get financial help with an advisor, we have that too. So it's like we created this whole process, almost like an assembly line with different companies. And now we can see them through no matter what part of the process they're in.
And that's, the marks of an unreal business. I was part of a business. It's probably one of my first jobs out of college. I was a facility manager at a baseball facility, and the guy that owned the facility was a genius, right? So, he didn't just monetize people once. His goal was to monetize certain people multiple times. So, family would come in, have a young ball player, and they would want a hitting lesson or a pitching lesson, right? So that was he did that for a little bit, and then he opened up his own baseball club, right? And so now these people that came in for a hitting or pitching lesson, the cream of the crop there would want to try out for his baseball club, monetizing them yet again. Now those people that are in the baseball club, right? Now they have this special training, winter training, that the people in the baseball club can sign up for an intensive training. So you can see how constantly monetizing those people.
You can do it in any industry, really.
There's multiple. So if you think, hey, there's no more ways I can monetize people, no, there is. You just got to think outside the box, make the right connections with people, and go from there,
Maybe you make a joint venture with someone.
Yeah.
This is kind of how some of our ideas started. You make a joint venture with someone. Next thing you know, you either bring those things in-house and you could do it yourself, or you partner with that person and you get referral fees back and forth. You're not making direct money from them, but it's from a partner and you're still getting them help.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So there's endless ways to do that. But it all starts with, you gotta get a hold of them first, and this is this principle. Always, always, always growing your list. There's multiple ways to do it, right? You can network, right? And you do need some methods of, okay, well, when I meet someone, how do I get them onto my email list? Well, you need a way to do that, think practically about it. Maybe they go follow you on social, and then from social, they get on your list. They see something they want to opt in on or whatever else. Okay. Or you talk to them straight up. Hey, I send weekly tips and tricks out on XYZ, or, I do XYZ, and they want to, I want that. Well, then you should have a way right then and there that they can opt in.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So networking, like I said earlier, you can funnel people from your organic social followings into your email list, right? Maybe there's a front end lead magnet or something you can offer people that they see whenever they hit your profile, that, maybe after they see a couple posts from you and get used to you, then they go check your profile and I'm like, oh, well, Dan has a financial lead gen ebook. Boom. I want that. Now they're in your list, and now they get direct communication from you. Right. Yep. So everything we try to do is always get people into an email list. And I call it a texting list too, because, that's just as relevant as email now. And anyone that says email lists are dead, they're just trying to sell you something.
Probably that works around email.
Right. Or that's just a fad. That's just like, it's a flash in the pan, Hey, don't do email lists. Buy my $8,000 TikTok course. It's like, get out of here.
We probably get 100 to like 300 emails a day. And I would say I probably see 80% of them,
Dude.
Like, emails are getting seen.
Yes. And I still go back. So there's some hair product I use. My hair's kind of crazy, but it's called Pete and Pedro. And they have some really cool stuff just for men, hair products, shaving cream, stuff like that. And I get their emails a ton because I bought there before, but I was like,
right.
I got one. Well, and for one, I'm running low on my stuff, but they ran a sale. I don't need it right now, but they're running a sale. So I bought, it's like, they're increasing the amount of times we're buying. They're staying in front of me. And granted, I have their product in hand, but still, I get email probably every day, every couple days from them, and do I look at every single one? No, I don't. But you bet when I'm ready to buy again, I go look at them. Like, they're top of mind. Yeah. I use it every day, so, and you might be saying, hey, well, I'm a service-based business person. I don't have time to send emails. That's why automation is important. That's why you need to find a way to make it easy on yourself, because you are restricted massively by your time. Right? Yep. You don't have a team. So it's like, how do I multiply my hours? And this is what Dan and I do. It's like, okay, you need and we had a podcast, 2 weeks ago with Kyle about this. Like, you need to multiply your time. Like, you are one person, and you're probably sick and tired of working 16-hour days. You need to find a way to work 8 hours, but make it the impact of 16 hours. you know,
Right.
and you might be, oh, that's too good to be true. BS. There's tools out there that allow you to do it. And you need to hop in on those tools. Right. So networking.
You know who I see are really good at,
Yeah.
I think you were just going to go into networking, but going back to it,
Yeah.
Is when people are most excited about their business, about their products that they're selling. Like that's whenever they can organically drive lists and like the curiosity that's coming on. The cat's trying to get into the video call. But yeah, so like people that are excited and they're genuinely excited, you can tell it's not forced.
Right.
They drive the most curiosity to their business. I would say 9 times out of 10. Do you ever find that?
Oh, absolutely.
And do you ever find the person, and sometimes I've struggled with this, when you're not excited in your business and you still got to, drive lists and talk to people and let people know what you do.
Yeah. And we all get in that mode, right? Like we all do. I'm an introvert, so like I don't naturally, and Dan would be like, that's hard to believe, but I 100%, you can ask everyone around, that's just how I am. There are times when you're not excited about, man, I have to go network and talk to people and do it online too. Start conversations and put myself out there. Right. But then that's when it's so important that you start thinking about the end result. You start letting that motivate you a little bit. So it's like whenever I have a hard time, hey, how do I like growing my list? I'm like, well, what's the payoff of it? What's the payoff of me growing my list? I have to re-believe in the process. And that was one thing I was going to touch on was, you have to trust the process and believe, because sometimes growing your list, like I said, there's a lot of work up front. You're tilling the field, you're planting. You don't see a payoff right away typically. If you're lucky, you do, right? But you're doing a lot of work up front, and the payoff isn't until later, months sometimes. So that's it's really kind of like working out, right?
Yeah,
like
it's exactly like that.
I mean, you're typically excited for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then it gets mundane, and then you're not seeing a ton of results. And then that's the easiest time to give up and say, this isn't working. Right. But it's just, you haven't given it enough time yet. And that's where growing your list, and sometimes I feel like that way. I'm like, okay, well, it gets boring. It gets boring. So it's uninteresting, but it's like necessary. And that's why it's a principle. Principles are things that you don't waver from. Kind of like your values. It's just, you live by them.
Just like the routines we were talking about last week.
Yeah, it's just, you have a set of things that you do, and growing your list in your business should be one of those things that you never stop doing. Always be doing it, and that's where, you might be missing out on people from not growing your list. I'm not saying people that, like I said, that the margin, that group of people that are going to be buying from someplace, like they're interested enough. And here's the thing, if they're like opting into your email list or like saying, yeah, I want it, people don't just give their attention to crap that they don't want. Right? They give their email and phone number and things like that, things that they're interested in, but they may not be ready to buy right this second. But it's a pain point in their life, and maybe it hasn't hit the threshold to make them to move yet. Or maybe they need some education, some emails, some text messages from you to educate them. We're going to be talking about this in the following weeks, right? Some more principles that you need to live by and start injecting into your business, right?
Yep.
So growing your list is an investment, okay? And the massive payoff is down the line, right? Your goal should be how do I find the group of people that will want my thing, right? And how do I get in front of those people? Typically, you always have to have some sort of borrowed. You have to use some sort of borrowed medium and understand how to turn it into owned medium, right? So it's leveraging social, it's leveraging networking events. If you haven't been to a networking event, I want to challenge you to get into a networking event. I actually missed one. I signed up for one this past Friday. I missed it for some other circumstances, unfortunately. But I was like, man, that could have been a great opportunity, and I wish I could have gone. But if you're not part of a group, get a part of a group, right? And if you want the best group, you're going to be joining the Limitless Business Owners Inner Circle group.
There it is.
And like I said, we're in the beginning, we partner with CJ. Dan and I go way deeper on things like true strategies that we use inside that group. But this group isn't just made for anyone. This is for like elite business owners, people that want to be elite, that aren't scared of doing the work, that want to learn, right? That want to network and have some sort of accountability in their life for growing their business, right?
Yeah. And we're not the only teachers either. Like people are learning off each other, you know. There's going to be people so much higher level than we are. And that's the best part is, you know, you have these people that are going to be driving where different industries, they're successful leaders in those industries. Yeah. And, you know, while we can give some fundamentals and teach on that part, they can partner up with you and teach that, you know, something we might not have been, you even know you were missing out on.
Yeah. And, you know, Dan and I's specialties in marketing and advertising. We do a lot of stuff online.
Yep, exactly.
We are the masters of the online world, right? From automation all the way to lead gen to funnels. We've put thousands of funnels together for different businesses. And then CJ's going to come in and, you know, I don't know about you guys, but there's been times where I'm like, I don't want to look at my P&L, which is profit and loss. Right. I don't want to look like, but CJ is so good at teaching business fundamentals. He's had a range of different businesses, and he's just going to be teaching, right, the things that kind of the crap that every business owner needs to be in tune with: cash flow, profit and loss, hiring, employees,
business plan, business focus.
Yes, you know, Dan and I will touch a little bit on employees and leadership. Like, I feel like that's part of our realm too. But CJ has been through it all, and he's going to be the core guy teaching those fundamentals on that end. And then you have Dan and I for the advertising, really the growth portion, right? Think about CJ as your foundation, and then Dan and Andrew as your growth portion, building the story up. But yeah, a little ploy. So if you haven't been part of a networking group or a group in general, you know, you hop in with us. There's always a link in the bio of our podcast for that. But Dan, any lasting words for growing your list and the importance of it?
Well, the importance is spoken just like this. I mean, look how valuable information has become. A lot of people are saying that it's become more valuable than oil. And why is that? It's because, like I said in the beginning, there's a person on the other end of that piece of data. And guess what? That person buys things and spends things daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, reoccurring. So as long as they get that data or you get that data, you can go and set up a process where you can become a relationship with these people, and they're going to buy from you over and over and over.
And there's some cool things, I hate to add on, but there's some cool things you can do once you have a list that get more people that are like the people inside your list.
Right.
So, you know, lookalike audiences, some expanded audiences, things like that, on that you can really start growing your list and pouring some gasoline on the fire. But if you're not doing anything, you know, you can't just grow a list. You got to like engage with the list. So like this is kind of grow your list and engage with them. Like at least send them something weekly, right? Interact with them, you know. But Dan's so right. There's people on the other end that they wouldn't be opting in for no reason, right? They're going to be spending money with someone soon. And why can't that be you, right? You are just a strategy of growing your list and engaging with them away from monetizing and getting some extra revenue in your business. Okay. This is a core marketing principle. You have to be growing your list. And if you want to learn more about growing your list, you got to hop in the group. The next 2 weeks, we're going to be unveiling the other Untold principles of marketing success next week and the following week. And we're going to be bringing CJ in for a podcast a month with us as well. Might be more, but a minimum of one time a month with us. And then I would say, you know, we always ask our guests, you know, like what's one thing to make your, you know, business a limitless business and become limitless. Growing your list is one of those things. Okay. You truly want a limitless business. You have to start committing today to growing your list. So, Dan, anything else?
Nope. Be consistent, put in the time, and you'll get your list built before you know it.
Love it. Well, it's been real, guys.
Later, guys.
Hey, if you haven't rated or reviewed the show yet, please take 2 to 3 minutes to do so right now on whatever platform you listen on. It really helps the show rank better when people are searching for new podcasts to listen to. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook, where we post daily clips from the episode. And then we're just going to ask you to share those clips, right? You never know who of your friends are going to see that clip, and then they're going to start listening to the episode, and then their life changes because they hear something that really helps them overcome a challenge that they're experiencing in their business. It's really going to help them create breakthrough in their business and become limitless. Also, one last thing. Right now, we are offering a free 7-day trial into our Inner Circle group, Limitless Business Owners Inner Circle. And inside this elite group, you get to learn how you can experience immense, consistent growth inside your business, where you learn the strategies and tactics to grow your business, right? Surround yourself with like-minded people, other business owners that are experiencing what you're experiencing, that are going through it right now, that you can build key relationships with and learn from. And also some people ahead of you that can also teach you something that's going to help you overcome something in your business right now. And then last thing, you can leverage the strategies and tactics it takes to build your dreams and fulfill your purpose. Talk soon.